Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. If you're looking just outside of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, they have recently implemented an exciting new addition to their storybook trail that is capturing everybody's attention. Joining us live on the scene right by the West Bloomfield Library is our very own Kevin McIntosh to tell us more about this new addition. Kevin.
Thanks, Jake. Yes, I'm right outside the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, live outside the West Bloomfield Public Library Storybook Trail right behind me. And you see this brand new look that we're going to talk about right in front of the trail, as well as their outside youth terrace as well. Couple things going on. One, as you can obviously see right behind me, no, it is not an optical illusion. Unless you are Victor Wembanyama, this is not a normal chair. Huge chair behind us, something that you would see on social media, on the beach, or different tourist spots and locations. Now we have one right here at the front end, I should say, of the Storybook Trail. So great for photo ops, and come out here, bring a book and read one with your little one right here in this chair as well. Perfect for the summertime, with that being said. Now, also, we do have the youth terrace as well, right over here to the side of me. We will take a look at that. They have brand new furniture as well at the youth terrace as well. So furniture, musical instruments, even updated landscaping going on over there. And you can see very vibrant colors going on over there for the kids. They also have great seating for outdoor dining and outdoor reading as well. Perfect for you to go out there and, like we said, musical instruments so the kids can enjoy. So a lot of updates. I don't know if you saw as well. Couple cones out here. They're doing some updating to the concrete and the sidewalk. So it just lets us know the library is doing a bunch of different things to make sure to get us ready for the traffic and the trail this spring and summer season. So a lot to look forward to, as a matter of fact, Jake.
It certainly sounds like it. Lots of big developments and big changes with the West Bloomfield Library, bringing everybody together and starting to enjoy this beautiful warm weather that I know you're enjoying right now, Kevin. Thank you so much for the information.
No, thank you, Jake. See you soon.
Absolutely. All great things and great additions with the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Can't wait to see what else is in store for the rest of the spring and the summer season. As we know, work is done every single day throughout West Bloomfield Township to make the community what it is. And one of the ways that's done is through the work of the Township Board and their master plan for West Bloomfield. Last week, an open house was held to unveil that master plan and to gather input from everyday community members to hear their thoughts on Greater West Bloomfield's future. I had the chance to attend last week's event to hear what community members had to say regarding having their voices heard. What made you decide to want to come out here tonight to this master plan open house for West Bloomfield?
Well, I did the online survey when it came out, so then I was interested to seeing what came of the online survey and all of the nice demonstration of what they have in mind proposing for the township. So I thought I'd come here in person, talk to some of the powers that be, give my opinion.
Well, our HOA president sent us the information, and I thought, oh, I should go and see what the township plans on doing or wants to do. So that's why I came out tonight.
What have you seen tonight from the community as they've come out to the master plan open house?
So we've had a lot of great ideas regarding future land uses along Orchard Lake Road as well as Haggerty Road. A lot of desire to maintain the walkability and the pedestrian feel of those commercial corridors. So looking at additional parks and sidewalks and possibly alleyways behind some of the shopping centers to create more of a pedestrian-friendly, walkable community. We've also seen a lot of comments about keeping and protecting the woodlands and wetlands and the natural beauty of the township.
I've learned that people are very concerned with the impact of more building with the current state of our roads. The infrastructure will not accommodate a lot more building in this area. And it's very dangerous, and if more development comes out, it's going to be even worse.
How important is the community's input in everything that you guys do?
It's extremely important. We need to hear from the citizens to draft this master plan because it's their plan for the next 30 years, and it will create a roadmap as to how the township changes and grows and things that they're interested in seeing.
Things aren't done in a vacuum, and this helps anyone that's interested to see what's going on. You need residents' input in order to do things correctly, I think. I think if you go off and just do it based on what you think it should be, I think things start to fall apart at that point. So I think getting our input is very good.
We need to hear from the residents and as to what they want so we can make sure we're doing our job into helping the community grow in the way they want the community to grow.
People want to have their voices heard. And it's amazing that everyone with West Bloomfield Township is putting in the effort to make sure that everyone has a voice for important community matters like this one. Everyone has the same goal, and that's to make this West Bloomfield community better every single day. A pen pal program between high school and elementary students has fostered connection and camaraderie. Laker Connection has brought together elementary and high school students through a pen pal project, Zoom, and alternate forms of communication. Now, this week, Gretschko and West Bloomfield High School students met in person for the first time, further forging those ever-important bonds, and with both sides sharing wisdom and guidance for the other. And it shows that at the end of the day, despite the age gap, everyone is a Laker. You can see the photos right now if you're watching on Civic Center TV, and you can also check out the photos for yourself on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools to see all of the fun for yourself. A big congratulations to West Bloomfield High School digital media students Lewis and Winnie, who just claimed first place in their category at the National Courageous Persuaders Awards. The award ceremony took place at Imagine Theater in Royal Oak and featured entries from 29 states from across the country. Their powerful and creative video stood out among the competition, earning top honors in this very prestigious contest. A special shout out to West Bloomfield High School digital media arts instructor Jennifer Williamson for her guidance and support. Big congratulations to Lewis and Winnie, who have certainly made West Bloomfield proud. Very, very excited for all of their success. Join the great people of West Bloomfield Parks at Marshbank Park for some free musical fun. The first of 3 Kids Commotion concerts takes place tonight and features interactive children's entertainment and inflatables for all the young members of the community. The performing band tonight is Leonardo Music, who will be performing from 5 to 7 p.m. The Optimist Club of West Bloomfield will also be on site selling snacks and refreshments, and all proceeds benefit the work they do for children in our community. Hope to see everybody out there tonight and to be breaking in this wonderful spring and summer season right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Memorial Day is quickly approaching in Greater West Bloomfield, which means it's almost time for the annual Sylvan Lake Memorial Day Parade. Preparations are already underway for the beloved community event, all thanks to the help of parade chairperson Margarita Garcia, who I recently spoke with to hear more about this year's preparations. Really excited to be hearing what's in store for the Memorial Day Parade this year. I know everyone in the community looks forward to it. What are the key elements that go into planning this parade every year?
Well, most of all, it's communication. I mean, it begins with, calling the volunteers, communicating with the city, coordination, preparation, and of course, at the end, it's the execution itself of the parade.
That's absolutely right. Lots of communication is key, and we see that unfold every single year with this parade. And how long has this parade been going on? How many years?
You know, I've asked that question a couple of times, Jake, and the answer is we think about 75 years, but nobody knows for sure.
Wow.
So a long time.
Certainly has been a long time, which just goes to show how much that this parade has stood the test of time and has become such a mainstay for this community. Margarita, what can attendees and participants expect to be different or possibly new in this year's parade?
Well, our parade is about traditions. So every year we have a lot of the same participants regarding like the city float, our garden club, parks and recreation, the kids on bikes, historical characters, and of course all of our drivers in vintage cars or pulling boats. That is a mainstay every year. This year, however, we do have two new participants. Sylvan Table, the beautiful restaurant right in our neighborhood, is joining us, and we can't wait to see what they do. Their first time. And also we have the Oakland County Sheriff's Department Mounted Police. We're looking at two riders, so two officers. We're really excited about that. They'll be walking with or riding, trotting right behind our police car, patrol car, which should be really cool for the kids to see.
Absolutely. Those sound like great additions to the parade lineup for this Memorial Day weekend. And working with all of these local officials and volunteers and participants, how do you coordinate things with all those people to ensure that everything runs smoothly on parade day?
Well, this parade, thank goodness, has a history. So we have, our notes from the past. The first thing that happens at the, late March is that I meet with the city along with Kathy Robbins, who is the coordinator for the veterans, and Denise Dryden, John Martin at the city. And we sit down and just, start the planning. Also, Police Chief Corey is in the meeting because his department is involved in, the street closings and so forth and monitoring that everybody stays safe. So that starts it. And then I start making good old phone calls, texts, emails to the past participants, and then hopefully get on the phone and try to or visit or whatever local businesses and so forth. This year, Chief Corey helped to get the mounted police for us. So I thought that was pretty cool of him.
Absolutely. All great things to be looking forward to with this year's parade. And you just touched on this a little bit, Margarita, but how you talk about a lot of participants that have been involved for many, many years, but you've also talked about how we're having a couple new participants this year. How can new participants get involved with the parade for future years?
Oh, I forgot one other addition before I answer your question, Jake.
Of course.
Ben Mearswell, who is a local young man that grew up in Sylvan Lake, born and raised and bred. He has his own business, and he is bringing his tractor this year as well. So just wanted to say thank you to Ben for that. So we're excited. And how can people get involved? They can just reach out. We're a small community. We have a Facebook page, Sylvan What's Going On. My email is sylvanlakeparade@gmail. Pretty easy. A lot of people know my phone number, or if they don't, you can call City Hall and get it, or send City Hall an email and just send them a request, and then they'll forward that to me. Or if you see me outside and say, hey Margarita, I'm thinking about next year, great. I mean, it's such a small community, we can pretty much open the window and shout out to your neighbor. So it's pretty easy to get a hold of me here.
You're right. It is a small community, but I think it's because of that's what makes parades like this so special for everybody. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we're talking with the Sylvan Lake Memorial Day Parade chairperson, Margarita Garcia, who's giving us a little sneak peek of what we can expect with the Memorial Day Parade this year coming up in just a couple short weeks. Now, of course, talking about all of these great programs and these great participants involved with the parade, let's not forget the holiday's origins. This is Memorial Day. So how do you honor veterans and active service members during the parade? And how do you ensure that the true meaning and spirit of Memorial Day is honored throughout the event?
Well, the Memorial Day Parade is named Memorial Day Parade because that's it. We're honoring our fallen heroes, our veterans, and there's a really active veteran community here in Sylvan Lake, as well as Memorial Park, which is dedicated to our veterans. So we see it every day, and we honor them and remember them every day. They're such a part of our community. So given that, the way in the parade itself, we have the American Legion Post 341 that joins us each year. And these guys, some of them are from World War II and the Korean War and so forth. So they proudly join us and are acknowledged at the memorial service, which is really a beautiful thing to see. The parade ends at Memorial Park, and that's a time that we begin our ceremonies for the veterans and the fallen heroes. It's a really beautiful thing to see. It's very respectful, very solemn, and it's really a lovely production by Kathy Robbins and John Martin, who is our musical director as well as our city manager. And he performs beautifully. I'm not sure what he's doing this year, but it's always amazing, and it always brings a little tear to the eye.
I'd imagine so. I remember the festivities from last year. They were incredibly moving. Can't wait to see what he has in store for this year. And of course, as we've talked about, parades like this, a big reason that this has become so successful is, as you said, because of the community's support.
Yes.
So what role specifically does the community play in supporting the parade, either through volunteering, sponsoring, or participating?
All of the above. We have volunteers that raise their hand every year. They help with parking lot coordination. They help with the kids getting their bicycles decorated, face painting, the leader of the parade to keep everybody on track. All of these are veteran volunteers, I want to say, that help us every year. And also the community really shows up. It's the beauty about this parade is that it's through our streets, our residential streets. So you can step out your door and, go up to your lawn, and a lot of people put their lawn chairs out. The kids are outside and watch the parade go by, or take a short walk up to Garland Street and watch the parade at its end, and then join in for the memorial ceremony. We had quite a turnout last year. It was really attended by a lot, and it's the kickoff for the summer here. And aside being a day for the veterans, it's the summer kickoff. And you see your neighbors you haven't seen all winter. Everybody's happy and smiling and greeting each other. It's really very cool community.
That's absolutely right. Spreading that positivity and spreading smiles everywhere you go. Margarita, I know you got a lot of busy work to do to make sure that everything runs smoothly for this year's parade, but I got one more question for you before I let you go, and I think this one might be the biggest of all. What are you most looking forward to with this year's parade?
Well, I have to tell you, my favorite part of the parade itself is watching it come together. We start lining up the participants and the floats and the music and the bagpiper in front of City Hall and Greater Harvest Church. About a half hour before the parade starts. I have to tell you, standing back and watching it all come together it's a festival atmosphere. Kevin and Maria Mearswell handle the parking lot situation, and they line up all of the cars and so forth according to their place in the parade, which is a great part of the parade. So everybody's pulling in, and the kids are getting their faces painted, and they're decorating their bicycles. The big fire truck, West Bloomfield fire truck, shows up. The patrol car. This year we'll have the horses there, the mounted police, and it's just a festival in itself. It's the favorite part for me of the parade. Not to mention the memorial ceremony, but it always makes me so happy. It's just it really, you guys should film it. It's really fun.
Well, we will certainly be there to capture all of the magic. I can't wait to see it all up close. I know you can't wait either. Margarita, thank you so much for joining us today here in the Splash Live to tell us all about the parade.
It was my pleasure, Jake, and we'll see you at the parade.
So many fun things to look forward to with this year's Memorial Day Parade taking place in Sylvan Lake. I can't wait to be out there, and I really appreciate Margarita for joining us on The Splash to tell us what we can look forward to this year. If you're headed to college or trade school, the Optimist Club of Keego Harbor is here to help you out through their Scholarship Opportunity Program. For the last few weeks, the Optimist Club has been assisting young members of the community with their transition to college. The deadline for these scholarship offers is tomorrow, May 16th. So if you want the Optimist Club's help, you'll need to act fast. Bill Bertakis of the Optimist Club recently joined us on the Splash Live to tell us all about the program. Bill, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Really, really happy to have you with us and happy to be getting into this conversation because it is an important conversation to have with everybody getting ready for the summer season. So what can you tell us about these scholarships you're offering with the Optimist Club?
So every year we try to do 3 scholarships, a $1,500, a $1,000, and a $500 scholarship. The criteria is you have to live or work in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, or Keego Harbor. We had to open up to work as well because we didn't have very many applications. So our highest scholarship is the Joanne Andrews Award. She was a past superintendent, just a wonderful lady, been a member in our club for probably 20 years. The next is the $1,000 scholarship was Gino Santia Scholarship, and he's been a member probably from the 70s. And his father was a charter member. And, and if it wasn't for him, we get the bulk of our money from him from his golf outing every other year. He does a golf outing the Thursday after Labor Day. And then the late Bugs Beto, we did a $500 scholarship. He was a great member. Everybody loved him. He was a teacher at the school. He was a trombone player. And the first year we actually got a scholarship to a trombone player. What a great gentleman. And I got very good references. And while he was alive, he got to meet him. And what a wonderful way to have your name associated with a kid like this. Now the deadline is May 16th. Our application is, I put it on my newsletter, now that SoKey goes down for another month. Yep, that's the headliner. If you need money, we opened it up to St. Mary's as well. And you can get a copy of the application on the Optimus website. It's KegoOptimus.org, or you can just write Keego Harbor Optimus in Google. It'll take you there. I think the third pull down says scholarship, and you can down the application in PDF or Word. And it requires some references, a little essay, a little bit about your knowledge, charity work, grades. And over the years, I'm impressed when they get recommendations, what they say. I'm in the West Bloomfield Club too, and twice I've read an application where people aced the HCT, got 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, one guy got one run wrong, and I remember we honored him. I go, I had a bad day, huh?
Well, I would imagine there's a lot to be happy about with all of these kids that are looking to extend their futures and ready to take the next step in their lives. And you just touched on it a little bit pertaining to grades. What are the GPA or test score requirements to qualify for these scholarships, if there are any?
It might be as low as a 2.0. We were going to say, could it be lower, but we don't want people that don't try, and people should be able to get a 2.0. If we come into that situation, the board will, review it. One thing I want to say too.
Of course.
When I first started this 20 years ago, every applicant put, I'm the first one to go to college. And, and fortunately, I haven't heard that statement in a long time. So that's a good sign that things are changing for the better. And one of my first members that won, and I'm not near a charter member, I started in like 2005. I talked to a kid about 4 years later, and this family was poor. I mean, poor. Yeah, I went to their house. They did not have kitchen cabinets.
Oh, wow.
They had open kitchen cabinets. And I talked to him 5 years later. What do you do? I'm working at NASA. I'm jet propulsion. I go, what? I said, you better take care of your parents, buddy. And, how proud. And you know what? And when I meet people, I'm proud of all of them. People are, they're got brought in and those guys that aced SAT or ACT, they got scholarships to Dallas to work in a hospital, and I'm sure they're doing great. And it's very rewarding as a member to see how these people excel, and you get a sense of you're making a difference. President Mike always told me, why'd you stick to this? I go, because I'm making a difference. If I wasn't, I'd be out.
That's absolutely right. And you're making a difference to so many people. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have Optimist Club of Keego Harbor member Bill Bertakis talking about the organization's scholarship program that is running all of the way to May 16th. Now, I would imagine that a lot of scholarships are going to be coming in a lot of applications are going to be coming in for these scholarships, and a lot have probably come in already. What is the selection process like for these scholarships? How are recipients selected, and who serves on the selection committee?
Okay, well, we asked who'd like to be on the committee, and it's normally the board members. You would be surprised how few applicants we get. And when it's low, I look on people's lawns for signs that says graduate of West Bloomfield. And I said, hey, man, here's the scholarship. I got money. Fill this out, man. I could probably guarantee you get something. And they look at me like, how's this my problem? This is my parents' problem. I'm like, what? And but you'd be surprised how little scholarship. Now this year, the West Bloomfield Club had a great success with applicants. I bet you we'll be lucky to get 4. In many cases, we only had 2, and we could only get 2 of the 3 scholarships out. And now you probably say, where do you get the money for the scholarships? Is a good question. Well, we pay dues, $150 a year, and that's money, seed money to make money. And we have a stakeout where we cook steaks, and you can go skeet shooting, and we make money on that. We had euchre night. We make about $150 a night on that. And most of all, every other year, Gino gives us most of the proceeds for his golf outing, and every other year he splits it between us and the Jacket Club. This year's the Jacket Club, and we usually get $3,000. Now, if it doesn't make that much, Gino pulls that money out of his pocket and gives it to us. You always hear what a great guy is. You don't know nothing. I hang with him every day, and I see it time and time again that what a generous guy he is, and Irene, his sister, as well.
That's right. Everyone in this town is very giving, and they just want to see these kids succeed. Bill, I got one more quick question for you before we let you go. Where can people go to learn a little bit more about these scholarships, and when will the scholarship winners be notified that they've received the scholarships?
Well, believe it or not, we had one turned in before we even put out the application.
Oh, wow.
It was in our post box. Where'd you get this form? And all the dates were correct. But 90% of the time that day, they're put in the mailbox, the last minute. And when we put out the application, we try to give a fair enough time to do it. It's not as hard as you think finding grades and scores because they're posted online. I don't know how to retrieve them. The student does. And so that's the easy part. But we do them right away. Probably the next, let's say the 16th, the following Wednesday, we'll probably pass it out among the board members and stay there an extra hour reviewing them and judging them, and then see where they rank, and have a little discussion. And
of course, and everyone...
But we're trying to be fair about it.
That's absolutely right. And everyone is waiting to hopefully get these scholarships to get a good head start on their college education. And everyone would have you and the Optimist Club to thank for that. So, Bill, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Always a pleasure.
So much great work that the Optimist Club is doing to be helping out the kids of our community. As a reminder, the deadline for these scholarship opportunities is tomorrow, May 16th. So you still got a little bit of time to get those applications in to have the Optimist Club help you out. We're just getting started here on The Splash Live. Plenty of other big stories and topics to get into right after this quick break. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. With Memorial Day weekend quickly approaching, everyone is starting to prepare their travel plans for the big weekend. But that means that there's going to be a heavy increase of traffic levels during that time period. So everyone is going to need to plan smartly and accordingly to make sure they get to their destinations on time. Joining us now to discuss travel tips for Memorial Day weekend, we have the Public Relations Program Consultant for the AAA of Michigan, Adrienne Woodland. Adrienne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Very important topic to be getting into around this time of year. Adrienne, what unique traffic or travel challenges do you see for West Bloomfield travelers over Memorial Day weekend, and how can residents plan around them?
Yeah, AAA has partnered with an entity called NREX, and they're a provider of transportation data insights. And they expect afternoons for Memorial Day weekend to be the most congested. So if you are planning to travel for Memorial Day weekend, getting up and leaving in the morning, you can miss some of the heavier traffic.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to be planning to go up, maybe visit some family, maybe hit the beach, and there's going to be a lot of traffic on the roads, and it's important for everyone to plan accordingly. How can local drivers possibly use AAA's tools to maybe find the best fuel deals in Oakland County? Maybe if they're running low on gas and they need a quick pick-me-up.
Yeah, even with gas prices expected to be lower this Memorial Day weekend compared to last year, drivers can still find ways to save at the pump. You want to start by peeking at current gas prices on our AAA website, and you can also use AAA's gas cost calculator to get an idea of how much gas will cost for your trip. Once you hit the road, you want to keep in mind that stations off of the interstate or near attractions tend to be the most expensive. If you're looking to save money, you maybe want to drive a little bit further down the road to find cheaper gas. AAA members can also save money through Shell's Fuel Rewards program, and then they can also save money at Love's truck stops.
Interesting. Absolutely. Big, important things for everyone to keep in mind before they hit the roads for these big vacations for Memorial Day weekend. Now, with trips like these, I'd imagine that there's probably going to be a lot of people who maybe haven't taken a big trip since the end of last summer. Maybe they haven't updated their car or prepared it just yet for a big road trip. So what should West Bloomfield households prioritize during a pre-trip vehicle inspection, especially if they haven't serviced their car since the winter?
Yeah, it's really important before you hit the roadway that you make sure to check your vehicle and have it inspected. A simple pre-trip inspection of things like your tires, your battery, your brakes, and other fluids can essentially prevent unexpected breakdowns while you're on the roadway.
All right, interesting things to keep in mind. And then for families looking to avoid the Memorial Day road congestion, what are maybe some other public transit options or car rental strategies that you would recommend in our region?
Yeah, if you're looking to reserve a rental car for a trip, you want to reserve that car as soon as you know the date for your trip. Reserving your rental car early guarantees you'll get what you want at the price that you want. To save money, consider the type of vehicle you want versus what you actually need. If you're traveling with a small group and don't need a ton of room, smaller vehicles tend to be more economical and fuel efficient. And for extra savings, AAA members get exclusive benefits when booking through Hertz Rental Car.
Wow, yes, great points to keep in mind. I'm going to take note of a lot of this stuff too. I'm planning some traveling for the next couple of months, not over Memorial Day, but over some very busy periods. So those are some very important things for myself and for everyone to keep in mind. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm speaking with Adrienne Woodland, the Public Relations Program Consultant for the AAA of Michigan, who's giving us some very important tips and tricks to keep in mind as Memorial Day weekend quickly approaches and a lot of people are going to be hitting the roads. Now, A lot of people can also get help through the AAA mobile app to streamline their travel planning. How can West Bloomfield residents leverage the app beyond just checking gas prices?
Yeah, you can use the AAA mobile app to manage your membership. So you can renew for another year, add a driver, view your digital membership card, and also access your insurance. You can also see vacation recommendations, including our top travel deals and more. And you can also get maps of AAA discounts. And so you can see AAA savings near you. And you can also customize that map to show the deals that you want.
Okay, yeah, great points to keep in mind for everybody. Now, here's something that I think everyone needs to keep in mind. The road can be a very unpredictable place. There can always be accidents that arise at the most unexpected times. So many families in our community travel with children. What safety and comfort tips should parents keep in mind for long Memorial Day drives?
So first, with any vehicle, you want to make sure that everyone inside your vehicle is wearing a seatbelt. And for younger children, you want to make sure they are in the proper booster or safety seats for their age and weight. And you also want to make sure that they are properly buckled and secured. You want to be sure, and this is, for comfort as well as safety, you want to make sure that you have plenty of non-perishable snacks and water for everyone that's in the vehicle, including pets. And also, again, make sure that you set the younger ones up with, books, toys, anything they need before you get going. Because as the driver, you want to limit all types of distractions. So while you want to set your GPS destination before you pull off, again, you want to make sure that everyone in the vehicle is secure with whatever they need before you hit the road.
That's absolutely right. I don't have any kids myself, but I remember when I was a much younger kid and I get antsy on card rides like everybody else does. I get hungry, I get bored, and you want to make sure that the kids are safe and are entertained throughout the car trip so that they're not causing any distractions. Now, Adrian, which local businesses or service providers should AAA members consider when planning a Memorial Day trip? And how does AAA partner with these community resources?
Well, again, AAA has many partners through our discounts and rewards program. Several I've already mentioned about the exclusive savings AAA members can get with Hertz. Again, AAA members can get discounts through Shell's fuel reward program. Those are both two tips, that are important before getting on a trip. But it's really important, for AAA members. You can go to our website and look at all of our discounts and rewards, everything from local businesses in your community to businesses across the country that AAA members are able to get discounts with.
All right, that's a great place for everyone to keep in mind to gain a little more information on some very important tips. Adrian, I want to thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live. Before I let you go, any final words or words of wisdom for people to keep in mind before they hit the roads for this weekend, for Memorial Day weekend?
Again, before hitting the roads, you just want to know it's going to be busy out there. In Michigan, we're expecting about 1.2 million Michiganders will be out on the roadways for a road trip for Memorial Day weekend. So the roadways are going to be busy. You definitely want to plan your trip ahead of time. As the driver, put down any distractions. Make sure to get that pre-trip vehicle inspection to make sure that your vehicle is in proper running order. And again, definitely do not drive impaired this holiday weekend.
That's right. Everyone should stay safe on the roads, and we don't need any additional mishaps or mayhem to deal with as we're making our way to our destination. Adrian, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Important tips for everyone to keep in mind before hitting the roads this Memorial Day weekend. And hopefully they will play a big factor in keeping everybody safe and entertained for an exciting Memorial Day weekend. Big names and big celebrations throughout Greater West Bloomfield. Recently, Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter announced this year's Oakland Together 40 Under 40, a diverse and passionate group of individuals making a positive change throughout Oakland County. Kevin McIntosh recently spoke to one of the nominees right here on the Splash Live, Nate Fink of Fink Brissac, to hear his thoughts on his nomination.
Nate Fink of Fink Brissac. Thank you for being here, Nate.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Is it Fink Brissac? Did I say that right? I want to make sure I say that right.
That's right. No,
Okay,
right.
Look at me, landing in first try. All right, well, let me just start off by saying congratulations on your nomination. Big congratulations there. How did you find out about being named Oakland County's 40 Under 40?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you having me on.
Mm-hmm.
I found out about it. I got a note from the county executive's assistant, and then was told they were going to be broadcasting the announcement on Facebook the next day.
Yeah.
And was very excited to hear about it. It's a great honor.
Yes, it is. I would imagine, man. I'm so happy for you. I feel like we're family, and I feel like I feel like I'm celebrating with you, man. This is just one of those things that I know a lot of people have on their bucket list to achieve. Now, what do you believe personally contributed most to this recognition at this point in your career?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and it really is a great honor.
Yeah.
I appreciate the county executive and the committee providing me with this award. My roots are deep in Oakland County, particularly West Bloomfield. I was born and raised in West Bloomfield. I went to Andover High School, or formerly known as Andover High School. I now have 4 kids who live in West Bloomfield with me and my wife, and go to Bloomfield schools in West Bloomfield, and we still live here. And I've cared a lot about the community since I was a kid. I've gone on to become an attorney and have been very passionate about advocating on behalf of people who are perhaps in need and unable to get the legal representation that they might otherwise get.
Good.
We do a lot of different types of work, including class action work. We do municipal work. I've currently the representation just concluded, but we represented the new Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission.
Okay.
And did a lot of work related to protecting and defending their work. And I just care a lot about the community, and I think that the committee and the county executive saw that.
Nice, man. So I would imagine that you saw some of the other nominees as well as I did. Now, when you look at that list of other people in our Oakland County community who were nominated, how does it feel to be honored alongside such a dynamic and diverse group of leaders across the county?
Yeah, it's humbling. I mean, it's just an outstanding group. I think we're going to have an opportunity to get together, I believe, next month. And it'll be great to meet these folks. I know a couple of them, but most of them I've never met. But just seeing this list, it's just incredible. And we're so lucky to live in this community with so many wonderful, just outstanding leaders. Across, as you had indicated, just a diverse group, just a wide spectrum, different ethnic backgrounds, racial backgrounds, but also just different professional pursuits. It's really just, like I said, it's humbling to be just included within that group.
And with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, Oakland County 40 Under 40 nominee Nate Fink from Fink Brissac, just talking about his nomination and his experiences and growing up right here in our Greater West Bloomfield area. Now, I just want to ask you, different people were nominated for different reasons. There are different experiences and things like that. But what values or experiences have shaped your leadership style and approach to community engagement?
Sure. So, like I said, I grew up in West Bloomfield, and I come from a sort of political family. My father, David, had actually ran for Congress quite a few years ago now, 2002, in our community, and I've had very deep interest in politics and community since I was very young, going to political events, fundraisers, and the like, doing knocking doors. I was a campaign manager for now Oakland County Clerk Lisa Brown, but when she ran for state rep back in 2006, and have been very engaged in politics. I was involved in class president back at Andover High School. Now 20 years ago, we just had our 20-year reunion.
Congratulations.
I was also involved in college. I went to University of Michigan for undergrad, and have just learned through all of that experience how important it is to try to always stay engaged with your community and give back as much as you possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that being said, I want to kind of dive into that a little bit more. I want to speak on the fact that we do a lot of celebrating and highlighting local athletes, went to West Bloomfield High School, go on to the next level and go on to the professional level, being drafted. We just talked about a few of them then. But I also want to consider yourself another hometown hero, someone born in, or not necessarily born, but raised right here in West Bloomfield and give back and now being recognized. So I want to consider you a hometown hero. And with that being said, a lot of the work that you've done, what are some initiatives or products that you're most proud of being part of?
I appreciate that. I don't. As you noted, we've had some wonderful athletes that have come out of the community. I'm certainly not one of them. But I think I'm most proud of the fact that you indicated I wasn't born. I was here. I was born in Royal Oak at Beaumont, and then but literally moved to West Bloomfield probably when I was 3 or 4 days old, and have lived here. Except for when I went to Michigan for undergrad in Ann Arbor, I've lived here my whole life, so it's just been a wonderful place to live. And in terms of the things that I'm most proud of, I think it's that I'm still here in this community. We have our family that, like I said, my wife and 4 children. We live in West Bloomfield, and we love the community. And I think I'm most proud that we've had been able to establish these deep roots for all of our, for my family, to continue to hopefully prosper here. In terms of some of the sort of professional success, as I indicated, I represent the Redistricting Commission, which was very proud to do that. We also represented the city of Detroit in a lot of election-related litigation, primarily that came out of the 2020 election, where there were some forces that were challenging the legitimacy of the election, and we very proudly represented the city of Detroit to fight off a lot of those challenges. And I think we're probably perhaps some of the most successful in that litigation. I was just very proud to be a part of that.
Good work, man. Hey, I'm like I said before, man, I'm so proud of you myself to just be recognized. This as someone who aspires to get this type of recognition myself. And others, I'm very, very excited for that. And with that being said, just landing your plane here, what advice would you offer to other young professionals like myself and others in the community looking to make a meaningful impact in their communities?
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. I think you should just always stay community focused and think about what you can do. Reflect on what your own skills, your talents are, and think about how you can continue to give back and serve your community, investing in yourself, but also investing in the community, and always keeping a broader, bigger picture perspective on life.
Love that. Well said. Thank you so much again, sir. And with us right here live again, we want to thank you for being with us. Oakland County 40 under 40 nominee, Nate Fink from Fink Bressac. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Big thank you to Kevin for getting that interview, and a big congratulations to Nate Fink and all of the nominees for the 40 under 40 honor. But that's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everyone on our team. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.